This looks really fun. What are you guys doing here? Do you know how late it is? It's midnight by the time you got the camera. Why do you have everything set up? What does it matter what I'm doing? I'm looking at my DVD copy of Funny Face, the Audrey Hepburn movie. What? You want me to review Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 4 and 5? This late? Okay. I guess you give the people what nobody asked for because you have nothing else to make a video on, because you think you know what you're doing, but you really don't. So now you're just pretending, and it's all fun, and you're having a good time, and you rip off Max Mofo with your door entry, and then you call out the joke you just made because you're having fun. Yeah, Crisis. Parts 4 and 5 of Infinite Earths of the CW. They came, they went. I'm not going to think about this again. It's got me stuttering because it's just so... I don't understand it. How is this simultaneously some of the best superhero stuff we're getting and some of the worst stuff we're getting? It makes no sense to me how we're getting that. Let's talk about what I liked. I can kind of remember what was in Part 4 and Part 5, but they were back to back, so it kind of blends in. Part 4 was Arrow, so it was a lot about Oliver Queen. We know he came back, and it fulfilled the promise that the entire show has set up since the first episode of becoming something else, and Oliver Queen becomes the Spectre. I kind of guessed that was going to come after we saw him leave, and then he looked okay. I don't know, like, is that the conclusion I wanted for him, to have that power to save the infinite universes, whatever. So he did that. And at the end of the day, it was the ultimate sacrifice, and he gave Barry some power, and he saved the multiverse, and then Oliver sacrificed himself so everybody else could live and rebuild the entire world in its own new way that's kind of similar but kind of different, but it's similar, but the differences make it easier for us to explain to newcomers what's happening. I'll get to that later. Our Paragons are here to do something good, but they don't really do anything. They get trapped in the Speed Force, which is okay. The Arrow episode was pretty much just filler, I felt. Just trying to set up the new... It's a penultimate to set up the new status quo. That's okay, all the tension was gone. This is where we're kind of getting the stuff figuring out. But this is the one that had the most cinematic flair to it. Say what you will about all these shows, I always thought that Arrow had the most cinematic feel to all of them. Just the way that the cinematography and the director and the camera and the way everything came together just felt more mature than a lot of the other stuff, and you really get that here. It actually switches to the cinematic format with the narrower lens, and it looks really good. A lot of the time you got all of our Paragons trapped in different points of time in the Speed Force, and of course you get your cameos from all your characters. And I mean, I gotta talk about it because everyone's gonna expect me to talk about it, because it's a lot of people are thinking this was a big cameo and a big get, but I would argue it's probably the easiest cameo you could have got to surprise people. Ezra Miller shows up as Barry Allen from Justice League in the actual cinematic universe of the movies. A lot of people are thinking this was a big deal and a big get. I'd argue it's obvious. If you're gonna get anybody from those movies, anybody from that universe, the easiest one you could have got was Ezra Miller. He's probably the cheapest. He's already a character established in the CW universe, and he's desperately wanting to play this character. If you could have got Zachary Levi, I would have been like impressed. If you could have got like Willem Dafoe as Falco, anybody else but Ezra Miller, I would have been impressed. Even Ray Fisher. If you got Ray Fisher to be in here, I would have been impressed. But Ezra Miller, I kind of expected we were going to see somebody like him show up. And when I say somebody like him, it's just him. Or somebody from Suicide Squad, I guess. I don't know. All this does is just lead me to believe we're going to get that Flash movie that everyone's been talking about that I don't want to see. So, it is what it is. It was fine. He did okay. I don't like his Flash. I'm not a fan of his acting, and a lot of the stuff I see of him not on screen, I don't think he's a guy I'd hang out with. So, whenever he shows up in anything, I'm just kind of, who cares? Is what it is. So then all our Paragons get out of the Speed Force. Supergirl and Ryan and what's-his-face, John Cryer, are in the past or the future. I actually don't remember. But we get a big fight at the end where Oliver dies and everything comes back to normal. Then we get to the Legends episode. And the Legend episode, I've said before, Legends is my favorite show on this universe, and I like the Legend episode a lot. First off, some big reveals. Supergirl, Argo City, Black Lightning. Are the other ones all in continuity then? Batwoman, I guess. They're all on the same Earth, which led me to think, how is this possible? How did you get all of those Earths onto one and not have crossover of certain people? Because we see on other Earths on The Flash that when you cross over, there's other versions of those people. So now are those people, so if there's like a Barry Allen on Black Lightning's world, is he in this new world too, or is it just all the main characters of our show so nobody gets confused? I'm overthinking it because I definitely bet they didn't think about it. So we get that reveal, and pretty much just go through the motions. They didn't really defeat the Anti-Monitor, so then they actually do defeat him later by using the Microverse, shrinking him down for eternity, which okay, works for me. Not gonna complain, because I'm not gonna see these shows again. Great character moments where everybody's just reminiscing about Oliver, and you get some great stuff there. I really hope this isn't the end of Diggle, because I'd like to see more of that character in this stuff, but we'll see what happens, where that goes. I've been reading articles of people comparing this to Endgame, and it's exactly what I don't like about Endgame 2, is that you backed yourself into a narrative corner and you can't find a way out, so everything you do is just convenient and easier for people to digest than what you think. So, I hate time travel. I don't know any time I've actually liked a time travel story or stuff where we have to go back to events that we remember. And I know they didn't actually go back to events we remember, but they went back to events in Oliver's life in the Speed Force to get people reminded of what's happening. I hate that. But you know what I did like? About this? We got the Hall of Justice. Gleek the monkey shows up because we're doing the Justice League pretty much. We're doing the Super Friends Justice League thing with all our main heroes of the main shows, and that's cool. I was really happy to see that because it looked good. Big abandoned warehouse, easy to film on, absolutely okay with that. What else are you gonna get from this? Weird to see Gleek. I was happy you just kind of hear Gleek, and what a weird thing to throw in. It feels now that Oliver's dead, we're gonna get a lot more campy. But the best part to me was seeing all the other stuff that DC is doing in terms of their television. That looks better. First off, we get a new look at Stargirl. Looks really good. Same with, I think we saw some of the Planet Oa stuff of Green Lantern, which that looked really cool. Doom Patrol I will sing the praises of until I die, and we see all those main characters dancing. That was cool. Titans can go, yeah. And Swamp Thing? Really? Swamp Thing? What a weird one to throw in there. Because they canceled it. Because of tax and stuff. Overall, I didn't expect anything from this, and I didn't get much from it. So, I'm not going to complain. There'll be a lot of people that are fans of this. There'll be a lot of people that like it. And if this is your launching on point to get into CW, good for you. You might enjoy yourself more than I have over the years. I'm only going to keep up with Legends of Tomorrow and maybe that Superman Lois show whenever that comes out, because I like Superman and Lois. They all got renewed for another season. That's amazing. That is actually amazing. Like, how far are we going to go with this stuff? Where do you go after your crisis? I don't know. It's weird.